What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Talk with Three Dudes.
Howdy,
What's
welcome.
going on?
We are back.
We're
The
back.
children are not
Happy
very
New
excited.
Year.
Now, kids, another cheer, please. Come on,
No,
just,
no.
Yeah.
just like
Please
They're
clap.
sleeping. They're sleeping. Oh, there it is.
a little more enthusiasm. Come
Please clap.
on. We want them. We want them claps. Happy New Year, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2020. When you guys say Happy New Year, do you guys say Happy New Year's or Happy New Year?
It's
New
New Year.
Year.
What the fuck?
I hear people say Happy New Year's.
Why?
Why?
I don't know. No idea.
Because they have the dumb.
Happy New Year's. It's like it would make sense if you say Happy New Year's Eve,
No, it still doesn't make sense.
but
It's New Year Eve.
Well, because New Year's Eve would imply
No,
that
no.
you started drinking on the 30th. And then you waited until midnight to say Happy New Year's Eve.
really?
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I guess not.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways, today we're revisiting one of our favorites, Pikesville. Now, Pikesville's a straight rye. And we're revisiting this because this weekend is Whiskey Wonderland
Yep.
at Roxanne's Bar and Grill in Long Beach.
In Long Beach.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, this will be our second year going. We went last year. That's where we found out about Pikesville. So hopefully we find out about some other good stuff.
You have some good new vendors or something.
There were a couple when we didn't get to try because the lines were long.
No, we went back and tried it.
No, I think it was Bell's Mead, right?
Bellmead.
Bell Mead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one we
I don't
didn't
know if
try.
I don't know if I've had. Well, by the time we got back, like there was a lot of their stuff that they didn't even have. Like they had run out.
Mm,
Oh, that's
mhm.
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
that is right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, we wanted to try some other stuff, and they had run out of some of it. Like what we really
Yeah.
wanted to try, they just had their bourbon, which you were like, by that point, it didn't really matter because
Yeah.
we were pretty trashed.
Hey, do you guys...
Yeah, we were.
Oh, we do. We so were. Thank you, Arlene. Shout out to Arlene for driving us.
Yeah.
I think this time we should probably grab some food beforehand,
That probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
and then afterwards we can grab some more food.
That probably wouldn't be a bad idea either.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that time we didn't stop. We just straight went over there.
we did. We didn't know what we
Party
were getting-
started.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah, now we have a little bit better idea, so we can actually prepare.
I'll take some cash in case I want some food because I have food there too.
Oh, that's right. we did.
But yeah, this year unfortunately Eddie is not partaking.
I am not.
No.
Tell him why, Eddie.
Well, I decided to enter this challenge to lose, some weight for the next 6 weeks. Unfortunately, it falls in Whiskey Wonderland, and when I did it, I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "Well, I couldn't pull back anymore." And I found out,
Come on,
So-
guys. It's for his health.
So the reason I did it is just personal reason. I have to change the way I'm eating and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I had to really look into that. So I was like, "Well, fuck it, I'll just do it."
That's good, man.
Yeah, so it's been a week, so it's been good. It's just challenging though for sure because it's just protein and pretty much chicken,
Mhm.
fish, and
Rice?
right? Yeah, a little bit of rice, and then pretty much just kind of I have a meal plan I have to do, and then certain water I have to.
Mhm.
Well, I have to drink like a gallon of water a day, which that's challenging enough,
Heck yeah, dude.
and I
go-
have to work out like 5 days a week.
Yeah. I don't know. I drink at least that much water a day already.
Yeah, I think because I would have to get used to doing it because
Yeah.
I'm not used to doing it. So I get close. I get to almost the gallon, but I always finish like right there.
Oh, dude, that's still a quarter of the gallon.
Right.
There's still a lot.
Oh, right now? Oh, yeah, because I left it at home.
No, I
so
mean
didn't-
even at the bottom part.
Oh, yeah.
No, because that's the thing is I've always kept I always have a water bottle. I have a 40-ounce water bottle on my desk.
Oh,
I fill
okay.
that bitch up like 3-4 times a day.
That was a bad thing that I was doing. I wasn't drinking enough water also.
Plus the good thing about it too is if you what I do is I make food for well, I'm getting back into it because the holidays threw me off because of the days off and all that bullshit.
Right.
But usually I'll make food on Sundays
Mm-hmm.
and Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
So
Meal prep.
yeah, just make food on and steaming vegetables. I use an Instapot, and I mean they're done quick, like ridiculously quick, and they're actually good. Like they're not like boiled where they get all soggy and stuff like that.
Right,
No,
yeah.
they're actually good.
I like it when they're nice and crunchy and just enough. Well, that's how I like it.
What really got me was that I was going to a Hawaiian place right by my work, to
Uh-huh.
have that same meal, like
Is it
chicken,
Ono?
like chicken. No, chicken and steamed vegetables. Like I would ask them for no rice. I would ask them for steamed vegetables instead. And it was like $12 a plate. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I can make this shit at home.
That's true.
I mean, the chicken's cheap.
Yeah.
The vegetables. I mean, the vegetables are
They're
nothing
like
special.
yeah.
It's just you can literally get a big ass bag like this from Sam's Club for $5.
Right, and then it's selling it over there for like however, like $5 just for a little piece like that
Can-
or whatever.
Can you use seasonings? Or
Yes, I could use any type of seasoning.
Okay.
I could. It just has to be zero calorie seasoning.
Okay.
Like herbs and stuff like that. But seasoning, I can use any kind of seasoning, and vegetables, I can have as much vegetables as I want. Protein, I can only have 6 ounces. But I found out today that I could double up on my protein, so I could do 12 ounces every 4 hours, pretty much.
Ronald, he can't, man. So let me see Eddie take a drink of that fine whiskey.
Nah, I'm good. After the 6 weeks, trust me.
Dude, after the 6 weeks, you're gonna fucking take a sip and you're gonna be trashed.
I know, right? I'm gonna be
Episode
like that other
over.
time with the Pikesville.
Fuck.
And that's what we're having today.
I know,
Well, there you
right?
go.
Right. But yeah, so pretty much, I just have to find my meal plan for the next 5 weeks. So
Yeah, it's easy, man. Like once you get into it, like buy some of those containers, like those.
oh,
food
I
prep
have
containers.
yeah, we bought a whole box of them.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's
That-
and
they
it's
were, like-
for portioning. It's good because you can see
Mhm.
how much you're putting in there and just make it consistent. And like I said, it doesn't like it takes me maybe like an hour, and I'm like that's to grill, like to get the grill ready and everything, and I'm using charcoal. So
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, dude, that little one. Remember the one I took to the Galaxy game?
Yeah.
That little one. I use that one. Or you know what I
Yes.
do? You know what I did too is I smoke tri-tips. So it takes me that takes about 2 hours. I'll smoke a tri-tip to an internal temperature of like 135. Let it rest, slice it up, and then just
Can you
grill the
you
vegetables.
can't do that in a small grill though, right?
or
can you?
You could.
But it's gonna take longer though.
Yeah, I mean, in my smoker it takes about 2 hours.
I need to bust that little grill out again. I bought one and then took it to the beach and made some weenies.
Yeah,
Some
Yeah,
hot
te
dogs.
gustan los weenies.
They were
Yeah.
good, dude. They were juicy, kind of spicy. They had like,
Oh, like the sausages, kind of.
yeah.
yeah. It doesn't take a whole lot to like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy. It's just setting the time aside, and like
Pretty much.
like Monday and like Sunday and then Wednesdays, because that way, like I know people that will prep for the whole week, but it's like I don't want to eat 5-day-old food,
Yeah.
Like that gets a little weird.
It's better if we like do Sunday and then
And let's mix it up a little bit, make something
Sunday.
different. Yeah.
yeah.
Find out, the first couple times it might be a little bit odd, because you have to find like the actual portions and like what you can actually cook and what it comes out to.
Right.
But
Yeah, and
it-
that's where I was at.
but yeah, I mean it doesn't take that long.
Can you have salmon?
Mm-hmm.
Salmon's so easy to make.
Yeah, I could have salmon. I could have any kind of white fish,
Salmon's
but
salmon's not a whitefish.
It's not white.
but it's pink.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think you can still probably have it. I would imagine.
No, I'll look in. But last time I was researching, it said salmon, but
Mhm.
it's considered whitefish.
Wait, are you gonna be able to have pho?
No.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So I'll probably have. If we do go, I'll probably bring my own meal, and then I'll just eat it. When
That's
the
just
meal-
sad.
Also,
That's
You know what
just
I mean?
sad.
You know
I
what
feel
mean?
bad.
We're gonna have to find somewhere else to go. We can't go to the same ramen place.
I know.
Yeah.
But nah, it's all right. I am.
We'll just go to Taco Bell.
Yeah,
That's
there
even
you go.
worse.
Yeah.
But
Well,
nah.
We'll have some street.
Why do I
tacos.
have to eat shitty food?
We'll have some. We'll have some street tacos.
I'm not on this. I'm not on this challenge.
I'm not in on this.
Yeah.
Jen told me about that. She's like, oh, like she's like, apparently they were getting like a big group of people, and
Mhm.
everybody was buying in for like $75.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was like it ended up being like something like I don't know. I think they were just doing it like as a weight loss challenge, and they didn't really get into the particulars. But I guess whoever won $10,000.
Mhm.
Wow.
I was like, that's too many people.
Damn.
I was like,
$10,000.
yeah,
That's
putting in
crazy.
$75. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
a lot of people.
Shit.
What's the math on that?
I don't know.
Here, I'm gonna math right now.
I just
You guys keep talking.
Yeah, it seemed like too. It seemed like too many people.
That's
I mean, if it would have been like, you know, if it would have been like a couple $1,000, even that's a lot of people. I mean, at $75 a piece.
yeah,
133.
wow,
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people to have to beat out.
Oh yeah.
I could do it.
Well, you could. I mean,
I
it
could.
goes off if they do it right. It goes based off of percentage, not actual like.
Wait.
Yeah, because then then you would be fucked if it was just by straight weight. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of people that would be fucked. But
True.
yeah, no, I was just like, that's just too many people. It sounds cool, but it's too many people.
Yeah. No, the
I
one
mean-
I'm doing is just against myself. So I know where I'm at, and I know where I have to be.
I have a friend. I have a friend that's done it a couple times. Like she had a lot of weight to lose, and she did it a couple times. That same thing. That same.
Okay.
That same challenge thing,
Mhm.
and it ended up working out well for her, and she stuck with it, which is good.
That's
So-
the most important too. But it's good because they give you good motivation, and the trainers, you know, they're cool.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like 6 weeks should be plenty of time to make an adjustment. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you can if it was like 30 days, like
Yeah,
you
no,
can fucking you can grind out 30 days and then go back to fucking worse than what you were doing. But 90 days, you know, that takes a little bit more.
Yeah. More discipline.
Is it 90 days or is it 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
Is 6 weeks 90 days?
No, it's 30 days.
6 weeks. No. Damn, I can't math right now. No, it's 6 weeks is what, about 2 months? So about
Yeah.
60 days.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
Oh wait, 6 weeks. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's about 60 days, right?
No, it's 40 days. 42 days.
Okay, I was way off. See,
okay.
42 days. Yeah, I was off too. I don't know why I thought 60 days.
it's like 40 days in the
Oh, right,
desert.
right, right, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Now, are you gonna continue with it, or are you gonna like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I have to if I'm gonna do it.
I don't believe.
are you gonna get all buff or what?
No,
Why not?
I'm
man?
not in there to get buff. I'm just going to
Why
get
not,
it
dude?
healthy.
That'd be hilarious.
My goal, honestly, you know what my goal is?
What is it?
My goal is to get off my high blood pressure medication. That's my goal.
Heck yeah, that's a good goal to have.
That's my only goal. If I could get that, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'm happy with it.
Dude, your insurance rates would go down.
True. Yeah.
You're having to fucking worry about it. Fuck the insurance rates. You're having to worry about fucking. That's. I mean,
That like
you're too fucking young to be taking that shit.
I'm just
Like,
saying, there's a
honestly.
lot of
No, there's perks.
There's a lot of perks.
Of course, but like, damn,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
funny story. The first day I did on Monday,
Uh-huh.
I fucking passed out.
Did you?
Fuck yeah.
What were you doing? Sitting up or
No, we're doing. Yeah, I was sitting up and I stand up and I
And
was
you
like,
stood up
and I fell over.
By
Nah,
little bird.
we're doing upper body,
Nice.
but I forgot how to breathe.
Yep, that's important. Remember that time we
the
took you to
guy's
work?
like, "Were you breathing?" I was like, "I don't know. He passed out. I guess not."
Like, yeah, I guess.
Step 1, breathe.
Check.
It's important. Man,
Yeah.
I remember when I used to work out religiously, dude. That was. Yeah, I can't do that no more. Well,
Yeah.
no, I can. I'm just being a little.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bit about
That's the thing I was thinking about too. Like I was doing at least weekly bike rides. I need to get back into it. It's just the thing that fucked me up was the days off and then the weather was shitty.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
having to like right now having to go out and ride, you know.
Did you end up doing that race?
No.
Okay.
I forget why it ended up being, but I wasn't feeling it, and it would have been too much.
Dude, training for that 5K messed up my knees. Bad.
Well, that's why I started riding. That's why I started riding my bike again because
Yeah.
I was like, dude, like I gotta do something. Like, oh yeah, I have a bike, and it's actually, I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I gotta start doing it. We're actually, what is it? Let me see. There's a something that my brother and I had talked about that we may end up doing.
It's a Tour de France.
No,
Be careful you lose it, not.
Tour
sorry.
Tour de Paris, California.
Oh, there you go.
I think it's fuck. Let me see.
It's Mario Kart. 100cc.
It's Rosarito at Ensenada.
Oh, that was
dang.
bad.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a fuck. But
It's 50 mile. It's a 50-mile ride.
it's just a 50-mile ride.
Just 50 miles.
It's just 50 miles.
Shoot, trying to train for a 5K was daunting.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is on a bike it's different. You cover
It
a lot more
is.
ground. Like the first bike ride I went out with my brother, we did.
Mhm.
I think we did like 16 miles.
Yeah, and then a road bike's not too bad because you got all those gears, right?
Yeah, but
It
pretty
Yes
sure
and
you have
no.
to.
yourself.
It depends. I
But-
mean, like for me, that like if I can keep a steady pace on flat ground,
Mhm.
like the thing is like the thing I have to learn, and like of course it's the endurance, but B is not trying to go too fast, like not trying to keep up with the people towards the front.
Mhm.
Like my last couple rides, like that really fucked me, because I can keep up with them like when like on the flat ground,
Yeah.
and they're going pretty fast, and that's not hard. But once you start hitting some climbing, it's like that's the part where it gets tough.
Mm,
It
Um,
is.
so
I don't have a road bike. I have a mountain bike, which is not the same thing.
well, my brother has a mountain bike.
Does he?
Yeah. So
Nice. I had
yeah.
bought this mountain bike off of Craigslist, and this bike, I guess it's like worth like over 2,000, like 2,000 something, right? Whatever.
right.
I don't know. The guy was telling me because he was all into it, some older dude, and I bought it for like 500, sitting there collecting dust. What a waste.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
that's
why I just took my bike and got it serviced and make sure everything's fine with it.
Get a Huffy.
And then I don't even think they make those anymore.
I don't think so either, but I remember those.
I had one.
I had one too.
Did I have a
I was all
Huffy?
happy when I got one in Christmas.
Yeah, I had a yellow and white one. The fucking thing was, dude. We used to ride the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
Remember those tires that they weren't inflatable? They were like they don't
Those
go
small ones?
flat.
Yeah.
No, they were just solid. I mean, it'll make your bike heavier, but you don't have to worry. Like out here, we have where I live, there's like a bunch of like those thorns and stuff, and like the foxtails and stuff like that.
The goat heads.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
goat heads, and my tires would always get popped, so they just ended up buying me the solid tires.
They're just
Yeah.
foam.
Yeah, they're just pretty much foam.
Was it harder?
I've seen those on
Kind
kid.
of.
I remember those on kids' bikes. I don't know that I ever saw like an adult size.
Oh yeah, dude.
For those.
But it wasn't adult size. I was like 12,
Oh, okay.
12, 13 years
okay.
old around there.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, now they have like tubeless tires. Like they'll have like the rim is set up so that you just put the tire in there and then you have
Mhm.
some sealant in there. So for like those, just a little bit of the sealant will squirt out and it'll seal the tire.
Nice.
Shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's pretty dope.
Technology now.
I
yeah,
know, right?
yeah, it's come a long way.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of technology, drone strikes, man. Those are back in.
Yeah, there were. I didn't know we had them still, but yeah,
Well, Obama left a legacy.
yeah. It's a lot of numbers for deportations and drone strikes.
He's a champ, dude.
Yeah. He had a long time to do it. Yeah, the Soleimani obviously was is what you're referring to.
Yes.
And the shortest World War III.
Dude, yeah, no I mean, what, 2 casualties maybe?
Well,
you said,
the
right?
two, and then possibly now the 176 on the airplane.
Correct.
Which they didn't. At first they were denying it. Then they didn't want to turn over the black boxes.
Mhm.
Then they bulldozed where the airplane crashed.
Yeah.
Now they're saying, well, maybe it was a mistake. There was a video that was released by New York Times of like the actual like
The plane.
the plane getting shot down. Man, I found it suspiciously very short.
And to think like they're recording a random airplane, like,
There's a reason. Okay, so there's a reason. There's a specific reason
Mhm.
why that video was so short, and there may have been some chanting prior to where they showed that of directions to a Hawaiian dining establishment named owned by Allen.
Aloha Snack Bar?
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
gosh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean at least that of all those types of videos I've seen prior,
Yeah.
and I've seen more than somebody should watch, but
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those, and I mean that's typical, right? And they're typically not that short. And why would you just be filming a random plane taking off if you didn't know what was going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, correct. I mean, why?
So whoever filmed that video, I think needs to answer some questions. But yeah, it's not. Obviously, it's not the start of World War III. And one of the things that a lot of people seem to miss
Mm-hmm.
is that he didn't get killed in Iran.
Yeah.
He got killed in Iraq.
Iraq, yeah.
There's a specific reason for that, and that's because he was there. The embassy was attacked, and there was a strong intelligence that there was going to be another upcoming attack.
Mm-hmm.
And
People said that was conspiracy theory, but no, they actually had. I mean, even I think even MSNBC reported that they had multiple reports that there was going to be. He was there to personally conduct more attacks.
yeah.
And then people were like, no, like that was illegal and this and that. And then even the House Foreign Affairs Committee, they tweeted, this media post will serve as a reminder that war powers reside in the Congress under the United States Constitution.
Oh, now
But
they do.
Where were they when Obama was doing it without the approval of Congress?
Bombing 16-year-old kids in Yemen.
Exactly. And then Sean King, who's like super anti-Trump, even tweeted that he just learned that the assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani was carried out by drone. The Obama administration bears responsibility for the massive development of a drone assassination program that it widely and regularly used without express congressional approval.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Sean King. Sean King and I actually agree on something?
Right?
That's insane.
I know. And I tweeted that at the House of Foreign Affairs,
Yeah.
by the way, and there's no reply. But yeah.
That's
It's like sit your ass down.
I'm surprised because typically it's, I mean, all orange men bad all the time, like whatever, you know, and we've seen that, of course. We've already seen the accusation of, you know, oh well, that's why the plane was shot down because of the whole thing with the drone strike. It's like, no. The U.S. had no responsibility for shooting the plane down.
I was cracking up because some people were saying, well, now Russia's gonna join in, China's gonna join in, and then someone had commented, well, no, actually, someone commented about Russia and Trump being friends, and I said, well, we're good because according to MSM and Democrats, our president is a Russian asset, and he's best friends with Korea.
That's that's the thing, right? It's like
contradicting.
So they're at the same time they're claiming that you know he's a Russian asset, but also he's against Russia because obviously he bombed one of their allies, which is not really what happened. There was one thing I took issue with, where, and I think they walked it back pretty soon after somebody, you know, kind of,
I know what you're talking about.
kind of brought it up, where they had said that, you know, we already have targets designated, to include military sites and cultural sites.
Yeah. But that was something that Trump tweeted, which that's what I take issue with him with his tweets. Is he tweets without thinking?
Right, because the thing with bombing cultural sites is that, you know, that is actually a war crime.
Yeah. According to the Geneva.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand that maybe it's 4D chess and it's a, you know, or whatever we're calling it these days, however many Ds there are these days.
It's over 9,000 by now, bro.
Yeah, it's 9,000 D chess. But I understand that maybe that's what it is, but just to come out and say that, like, I don't know, it seemed
stupid.
odd. It seemed really odd.
He did backtrack it. I guess he didn't know. Apparently, he didn't know that it was against the law. His you know, legal team or whatever let him know, hey, you know, like that's against the law. So
yeah, and the thing is like, and then I also listened to the conference of, you know, the response of the. So there's, I'll get into this part in terms of like the side story of the bases being bombed in Iraq with intercontinental missiles or whatever.
Yeah.
I did listen to this response to that, which ended up being, you know, generally a de-escalation, which to me seemed like the right thing to do. I hope that, you know, it was taken that way. I hope it did lead to some de-escalation. The plane being shot down, that's, you know, that was really their own plane.
It's a tragic mistake.
It was their own. I mean, it was their own people. Not that this is the first time they've killed their own people. So they're used to it. That's not to diminish the 176 lives, of course. That's also very tragic, but yeah, it's not anything that I believe that the U.S. will take action on.
Yeah.
It's just that part doesn't make sense. So I think at this point we might be even.
Yeah.
But at least in the eyes of the Middle East, unless they decide that they want to pursue further escalations. So the side story and the of well, it's not the side story, but the things I found interesting about the bases being bombed in Iraq.
Mhm.
So Al Assad, and which is a base I was on for a little bit, and a base in Erbil were bombed. However, there's a base that's a lot closer to Iran. So they bypassed that one base that was a lot closer
Mhm.
and bombed the other two. So Erbil makes sense in that there's Kurds there. In terms of an escalation, apparently these days the U.S. just doesn't give a shit about the Kurds. They haven't for a while.
Mhm.
They've served our purpose in getting rid of ISIS. So they go back on the back burner of us not giving a shit, which sucks. There's a lot of Kurdish lives that were lost in the fight against ISIS.
Mhm.
There's still a lot of injustice in terms of the people of Kurdistan and the land that they were promised, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
In the fight against ISIS, they were basically made a promise of you take it, you keep it. But of course, they went back on that. And then the other base, there was no casualties there. They showed some pictures of the actual bombs, where it almost seemed like they had no explosive payload.
Yeah, some of them were duds, from what I
Mm.
had heard.
I don't think they were duds.
No.
No. So the side story, and the reason why I think that, I tend to believe this, is that there was a lot of missiles that were fired. It wasn't just one, but
Mhm.
like at least on one base there was at least 3 or 4 different sites that were hit.
It
So
was a couple dozen, wasn't it?
yeah, I don't know that they were duds. I don't think they were. I think they were precisely aimed.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's a conspiracy theory of, some people that are mentioning it that I've read,
Mm-hmm.
is that the reason why there was no casualties is because there wasn't meant to be. That bombing was supposedly, and again, I don't know this to be true, but it would make sense. That this bombing was to save face.
I heard that too.
And that there was some troop, and the thing is that this was confirmed in the speech at least a little bit. It kind of made sense because he mentioned like, oh, there were some troop movements. Okay, so if you're in these bases, like, how are they troop movements? Like, sounds like you had some advanced knowledge. So it sounds to me like Iran came to the U.S.
Mhm.
through somehow and said, look, dudes, we can't look bad in front of our people. We got to do something,
Can't
right?
look
Like,
bitches.
you guys killed our guy. That some of the media is making him sound a lot more important than he really is. How he was allowed to live as long as he did is beyond me. He's been a shit person for since the 80s.
Yeah.
But we got to do something. We're just gonna toss some missiles your way. Some of them are gonna be duds, aka they're not gonna explode, and there won't be any casualties, or we'll hit a non-strategic part of the base, or you let us know where if we hit this base or this part of the base, like it'll be cool. And then that's what happened, supposedly. I don't know. It's a possibility, I think.
I mean, because right away after that, I mean, they stood down. Right? They said like the missile attacks are over. Like that's it.
Yeah,
that's
they
all
did
we're,
stop after it.
that's all we're gonna do.
I don't think there's been any further escalation.
Nothing. I was kind of laughing at people saying that Trump is a warmonger. Here's how I know he's not. May 2019, Iran attacks oil tankers in the Gulf. No action. June 2019, Iran shoots down 2 U.S. drones. No action at all. July, I said July? No, June. Okay, so that was June. July, Iran seizes British oil tanker. September 2019, Iran attacks Saudi state-run oil company. Still nothing. Trump had said, the red line is casualties. December, Iran attacks U.S. military bases in Iraq. There was a death there. There was a contractor that died.
Yeah.
January 2020, U.S. airstrike, Baghdad killing Iran commander. And then well, I mean that was our. Oh no, sorry, December. I missed another one. December, Iran storms the U.S. embassy in Baghdad, and
Yeah,
that's
that's where. Yeah,
that's
draw
where
the
he's like, you
line.
know what? And so that's why we bombed that Soleimani guy. That's what he was.
He was in Iraq again. Where I mean, it's not like
It
we
was
bombed.
it was a legal one too. It was a legal strike.
If he would have been bombed in Iran, it would have been a different thing.
Mhm.
I think. But it was bombed in Iraq. We're already there.
Yeah.
I did sort of have a chuckle of the. I believe it's a parliament of Iraq saying like, oh yeah, we're gonna submit orders for the U.S. troops to get out, and it's like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think,
like I don't think you know what you're asking for, but
Yeah.
okay, let's do it. We
think
saw
Tim-
how well that worked out last time.
I think Tim Pool was talking about that. He's like, did Trump just accidentally end the
Yeah,
the Iraqi war, or whatever, the
Yeah.
war in the Middle East?
yeah.
Oh, okay, we're done.
But they voted, but the thing is, they don't have a cabinet.
Well, I mean, it was to me like as soon as I heard it, I was like, dude, this is like they don't really mean this. Like they're saying it, but they know it's not actionable. They're not going to be able to actually do it, but they want to save face around, because it benefits them as well, And
Yeah.
I'm sure they had somebody talk to, hey, we're gonna say that we want you guys out, but
We don't
want
really.
you
Yeah.
guys- Please stay. Hey, you need to leave. Oh, okay.
Cool, we'll pack
You
up.
sure? You sure? Because you saw what happened last time. So I mean, I'd be fine with it. If
I think everybody would be.
They
fine
just
with
did
it.
it with the wink.
Yeah,
away.
I mean, it would be. I would be fine with it. I know there's some people that wouldn't, but I would be fine with it. And then the whole place would implode, and everybody would go back to being under a regime worse than ISIS probably.
Mhm.
And then the injustices would continue, and I don't know. I really don't know like long term how we get out of there, or
Yeah.
I don't.
I
I
think,
don't
like-
know. I don't know at what point we just say, you know what, like this place is gonna be fucked up.
Mhm.
Like it is what it is.
Well, there was one point in history where Iran was actually doing really well economically.
Oh yeah.
Did I send that video to you guys?
Oh, I've seen that video.
Yeah.
Pictures, videos of this the right before right before the revolution. Everybody was.
Mhm.
I mean, it looked like a Western place.
And that's what the guy, the Shah wanted that place, Iran, to be westernized like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But was it Khomeini?
Yeah.
Khomeini or whatever. And I guess the religious leaders were not having it.
Said, "Nuh-uh."
They were like, no. And there was an incident where there was a movie theater full of men, women, children,
Mhm.
and someone, we still don't know exactly who, but anyways, they locked up the movie theater, set it on fire, killing everyone inside. Khomeini used that to his advantage, saying that it was the government that did it, but it doesn't make sense because in a time where Iran is prosperous, why would they kill their own people, right? But Khomeini used that. He spread the propaganda. That's when the Shah was, exiled from. He left the country. He had asked help from who was the president at the time, Jimmy Carter, and Jimmy Carter's like, no, you're good, don't worry about it, this and that. But and then last minute, like Jimmy Carter's like, you might want to leave the country,
Fuck.
like a little too late, like.
Yeah.
And that's when Khomeini took over, and it was all
The rest is history.
the rest is history.
Yeah.
I think his family's worth billions, like in the 100 billions, while the rest of the country is like in poverty, right? Well,
Yeah, well, that's a familiar story. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. I don't know. I really don't know what you can do. At what point you just say, you know what, you guys want to fucking just kill each other? Fine, go for it.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
and it sucks, dude, because there's people out there, there's actually good, innocent people that are out there that
Yeah, and
it's
then
like,
they're
who's
in
gonna
the
come
middle
help
of
us?
I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, I believe it was. I want to say it was New York Times
Mhm.
that released an article that said that they had interviewed, the Persian community in LA, like the surrounding
In
areas.
Canada too.
They couldn't find anybody that was like shed a tear for
Soleimani.
Soleimani being killed.
Nah, everybody was.
Everybody's like, no, that guy was a piece of shit.
He was. And then the funeral, how like thousands of people were up there. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
If you're being threatened with death to not go out, to for this funeral, you're gonna probably want to go out and be out there too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same story as like I was told by somebody who had family living in Iraq under Saddam that yeah, everybody in their home had a picture of Saddam, because if they didn't and somebody stopped by your house and you didn't, well, bad things would happen. So
Same thing in North Korea. I read a book about North Korea, and everybody has to have a picture of
the dear leader.
yeah, their leader. Otherwise, and then you got your neighbor spying on you, dude.
Oh, dude, it's brutal.
It's terrible, man. It's
because
harsh.
because the thing is like nobody has anything, right? Like there's people fucking eating grass and shit.
Bark.
So think about it. It's like,
Their
hey,
shoes.
I heard Edgar was talking to somebody, one of the neighbors. He was talking some shit about the dear leader. Just thought I'd let you guys know. Oh, all right, here, have a bag of rice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or you don't like your neighbor? Just make up some shit, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, just recently there was a video that
I got
came
dinner.
out.
Sorry.
I know, right? For real. I just snitched on my neighbor. We got dinner. We can eat. There's a video came out from China. I don't know if you guys saw it, where this guy was talking smack on this. I think it was like a chatting app.
Oh, on WeChat, and
yes.
So here's the thing. I use WeChat, and it's yeah. The video was of a guy that was in a group chat in WeChat, just making some comments against because I think he got his I don't know his bicycle or motorcycle taken away.
Yeah, he was talking shit about the police.
And he was like, man, like I'm sure how bad can it be, right? And he was upset about his fucking vehicle being taken away.
Right.
And he was in a chair and he was chained to the chair.
That chair looked like an adult size high chair.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, and then his hands were chained in front of him.
Yeah. And yeah, they were asking him why he was talking bad about the police. And this is the equivalent of like Skype or Facebook Messenger or whatever. Like AIM. People use it. It's well, actually, I want to say it's more the equivalent to Snapchat.
Okay.
So like you can send pictures or whatever, but it's really widely used in China. I mean, a lot of people that do business in China, like if you're in the US and you work with people in China, like you have a WeChat account.
That's true. Like in Mexico, they have WhatsApp.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, yeah.
Yeah. Same concept.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, like, there's a timeline. Like, there's a place where you can post pictures. Like, that's where like the WhatsApp and like that's why I'm saying it's more related. I think it's more similar to Snapchat, where like you have a storyline, like you have a profile you can post, because it's kind of like a mix of WhatsApp and like a shitty version of Instagram.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay. Huh.
Interesting.
But yeah,
that was
apparently
crazy.
it's watched.
They had him. He had to apologize. He had to admit that he said he was drunk.
That he was drunk and he was
yeah.
wrong.
So if not, he was gonna get it good.
Helicopter ride, bro.
Fuck.
Damn.
Like in Scarface or what?
Yep.
Fuck. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, imagine like I love when people bitch about the United States saying that it's a police state or whatever, and it's like, no, you don't know what that is.
No.
Did you guys see the protests they had because of the war or whatever? Or war?
Oh, World War III?
Yeah, the war that didn't happen.
Yeah, the war that didn't happen. It was like, okay, mostly probably like 100 people.
It's like, I knew Trump was going to get us in a war.
Let's
And
go
I was
protest.
like, are you guys serious? Everybody else is just driving like nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I will say it was a stupid protest, but at least they didn't block the streets.
Yeah.
that's true.
Thankfully.
Okay, hitting the freeway.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Remember that?
All this outrage. Where'd it go?
Yeah.
Where was that energy in the Obama administration? Where was that?
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, you fucking drone strike a 16-year-old in Yemen for, just because his dad was a shitty person, like,
Or a wedding.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Or Doctors Without Borders.
So on my tweet I had put oh yeah, that's right, Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
That's right. I had put where was everyone's outrage then? Oh, that's right. You were mesmerized by a smooth talking charismatic man while the entertainment industry and media lulled you to sleep.
Yep. Speaking,
of that,
yeah.
I was just thinking about the same thing you were thinking.
Yeah, the Ricky Gervais thing. Everybody is like, "Oh, the guy's the hero we need." I was like, "Don't get it
Yeah.
twisted. He's not on our side."
He's not. But he did call him out. Good on him, though.
He called
Yeah.
him out.
That's the only
Okay,
thing.
he called him out. It was hilarious.
Mhm.
But really, he's paid. He's paid to do that.
Mhm.
One and two. Everything he was gonna say down was written. Everything he was gonna say was written down and cleared through network executives.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, how I mean,
I think
yeah, it had its intended effect. I think a lot
course.
of people, like, dude, like when I watched the Ricky Gervais video on YouTube, and it was like maybe the next day or the day after, it had 4.5 million views.
Yeah.
I don't think the Golden Globes had 4.5 million views.
Not at all.
Like when they were going on, so they knew that
Yeah.
what it
It's
was.
just publicity.
They're doing it for views.
And
course.
my favorite part and the thing that it's actually like it devolved to, was the Epstein didn't kill himself joke.
Oh yeah.
But interesting thing is more and more details are being revealed about that.
The pictures.
The pictures, the admission that remember first the cameras were broken, right? Now it comes out that the video was accidentally destroyed due to a technical issue.
Now. Okay. Also, I heard there was like 6 jumpsuits in there. There was
pictures of that, yeah. At least
I think his CPAP machine was in there that was connected to a extension cord. So why did he use the jumper to hang himself when he had an extension cord right there?
yeah.
A lot of stuff did not make sense.
So you're gonna leave somebody that was just on suicide watch,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly,
Yeah.
because they said they were gonna kill themselves in a room with an extension cord.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot more details, a lot more interesting stuff.
No.
I thought
Epstein was not brave.
No, he was not brave at all.
No. He did not commit the bravest thing you can do.
That was crazy. Whenever
It was
that shit-
stupid fucking comment.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But no, he was not brave. He did not kill himself.
No.
And it's like now it's just more and more obvious. Like it's just it's ridiculous at this point. Like how much more obvious they're making it. Like, oh, the video was destroyed accidentally. Yeah, sure it was.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who's that executive that's on the that just got charged with like sexual misconduct and stuff like that? The movie executive guy. Weinstein. Yeah, when he was
looks
calling everyone
frail
out
as
on
hell
that.
right now.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, shut up, that's your friend.
Yeah.
And then Tom Hanks' face, and then Adam Driver's
Yeah.
face. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was written. I'm sure they did it for the views or whatever. Because I feel like now the pendulum is swinging the other way.
No, it's still going. I think people are more and more getting tired of it, but I don't think it's at the full level of dumb that it's going to get to.
Not yet, at least.
There's more?
There's more. There's absolutely more.
Wow.
I'm fully of the opinion that it gets worse before it gets better.
Because second term, bro.
Oh, that's true.
It's coming.
Oh my god.
That's true.
Can you imagine? Like it's just fucking like the guy said in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts. Like it's gonna be fucking as soon as that's announced, like you thought the fucking screensaver of the
gosh.
the gender fluid person screaming was bad. Like it's gonna be amazing. And again, I think there'll be some outrage, quote unquote.
Mhm.
I mean, even now, like the Elizabeth Warren saying, "Well, why was Soleimani bombed now? Why not a week ago? Why not a month from now?"
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, well, because right now he just happened to be in Iraq, and right now he actually happened to be planning a bigger
that's
attack.
another thing. That's
And
right.
now is the perfect time.
This was to get reelected.
No, it's because he
No,
was.
'cause he's
No,
going
it's
through
because
the-
he was. No, it's not that.
It's reelected, and then also to distract from
Exactly.
distract from
Yeah,
impeachment.
no, because they can't. They don't even want to. They don't even want to acknowledge that he's running for re-election. No, so it couldn't be that. It's because he's getting impeached, and supposedly the actual the articles of impeachment will get delivered next week.
I
Which
hope
we'll
so.
see. We'll see.
I hope so. Because I mean, if you think about it, Nancy Pelosi is now obstructing justice.
Yeah, they said they're gonna do it with the paperwork or without the paperwork.
Dude, they're just I don't know.
I don't know how you can do that.
Well, I don't. Well, I forgot who's the one in charge of the.
Who Adam Schmidt Shift
I think
Shifty?
so. I don't remember.
Nancy
I was watching
Pelosi?
it this morning.
Yeah.
No, not her.
Well, she's the one that has the articles of
Yeah.
impeachment, and she's supposed to submit them. So, and how do you conduct an impeachment trial without the actual articles being presented?
Mhm.
Like, talk about extrajudicious / unconstitutional. Like, that's kind of what they're proposing when they're talking about like with the articles or without the articles. It's like, well,
Rules for thee,
Well,
none for me.
without the articles, you have nothing.
Yeah, they were just gonna just wave it and be like,
That doesn't make sense.
you know,
That doesn't make sense at all. Because I mean, in the articles are supposed to outline the accusation and the what's actually happening.
It's gonna. I think this is gonna open up a whole can of worms for the Democrats.
I don't know. I again I think that Joe Biden still has a lot to worry about, and not just reelection. He has him and his son have a lot of questions to answer.
Which they dodge every time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they may still. And then so other news too is the talking about the pendulum swinging the other way. CNN settled with Sandberg
Nick Sandman.
or Sandman. Yeah. Why did I think Sandberg? I was thinking of the guys from there's somebody I was thinking
Andy
of.
Sandberg.
Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Nick Sandman. Yep.
Yeah, Nick Sandman. And the thing is that like there's people interpreting it a couple of ways.
Yeah.
I tend to interpret it in the way that it's convenient for CNN to have settled before Discovery, because what that would have done. So Discovery, what that consists of, is literally like, hey, and we go through this, process from time to time. It's like, hey, mass communication will go out and they'll say, hey, any emails, any communication, anything relating to this specific topic, you have to preserve it. If you delete, if you are found to have, after you've gotten that notice and found to have deleted it, that's actually probably worse. Yeah. So what was going to be found there? In the best case scenario, nothing, which I highly doubt. And the worst case scenario,
people admitted that they know this is a bullshit story.
Well, not just that, but it's like, oh, like we have this person who's underage, and we're revealing their name on news, and because we want to destroy him, quote unquote, right? That would be worst case scenario. Likely scenario, something in between. But still, for somebody that's supposed to be impartial, for somebody that for a news quote unquote organization that's supposed to be have some sort of credibility, all bad. There was no upside
for
CNN
at all. Now the settlement was, it wasn't disclosed how much it was, but I don't know if you guys watched the video I sent where the lawyer, the Canadian lawyer, reviewed, and he said he estimated it's probably between anywhere from 5 to 20 million.
I doubt it. But he was suing for over 250. I would say, I mean, yeah, and he based it on a really egregious case of defamation. I think aside from the monetary loss for CNN, it would have been one of credibility. I think that to them is worth more than the money.
So you think it's probably
so I think they would have. So I think Sandman's team had, when the ball was in their court, they could have asked for anything. They could have asked for 100 and they would have given it to him.
Yeah.
At the point in the trial, because I did catch that in his first video when he was explaining it, he never brought up the fact that the timing of the settlement, right? And I think that was very important. I mean, even Tim Pool brought that up. That the settlement was before Discovery. So there's still other other lawsuits.
Pending, yeah.
So it's gonna get interesting. But this sets a. I mean, what they didn't. I think what they didn't want to happen was for it to go through trial and set a precedent. So the and precedent is not just like, oh, it's happened before. Like, no, like actual legal precedent.
Yeah, something that
Something that will
cases can
yeah,
refer
something
to.
that would get considered in cases against, the other media outlets that are being sued. So yeah, I don't think it was as low as 20 million. I think maybe they would have liked to have paid 20 million. All things considered.
Yeah. What the fuck is that? Weird.
Yeah. I think they probably paid slightly more than that overall.
Well, good on him, man, because
Paid,
that was some
son.
fucked up stuff that just happened. Like, people are complaining about Greta Thunberg getting made fun of.
She didn't get doxxed. She's not getting death threats.
No.
As far as I'm aware. Anyway.
I mean, celebrities would say, like, this kid has a punchable face.
Yeah.
Get doxxed and stuff like that. And, like, we want his information, where he lives, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, like people with blue check marks on Twitter calling for this information.
Adults.
Which is pretty creepy.
It is pretty creepy. And speaking of discovery, another case that's come into light, Jussie Smollett. The prosecutor that let him off is now being sought after. She's now seeking legal counsel from high-powered Washington lawyers, which, by the way, is paid for by the taxpayer.
Oh, awesome.
So now they're asking
Joe had a free card?
Huh? No. They're requesting all of, like, a year's worth of Jussie Smollett's Google searches.
Oh,
yeah. Everything.
That's
to
interesting.
See whether he researched hardware stores, how to, hoax.
How to tie a noose.
How to tie a noose. What to say, what do MAGA people say? Apparently, they say this is MAGA country.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
he didn't do the right Google searches though, because he hired some black dudes to do it, some Africans.
Right.
I don't think there's a lot of MAGA Africans walking around in freezing temperatures.
I don't think so either. Yeah. Not 20 below.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how. Was it 20 below?
I think somewhere around there.
20 below.
I know it was minus. I know it was in the negatives.
In the negatives, right? And then having Subway 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Who has Subway 2 in the morning?
I know.
I don't know.
Especially in Chicago.
I think I don't know. If there was some drinking involved, I could see that.
Oh yeah,
that's true. We did order 60 tacos at one time.
Yeah.
60 or 16.
It was definitely 60.
It was definitely 60.
Fuck, that's a shitload.
But yeah, that should be interesting coming up now. I mean, it's pretty interesting stuff, man.
Another thing that's going to come up, and this is more local, on January 29th, St. Benitez gets to hear a case. So St. Benitez is of California Freedom Week fame. Mm-hmm. He actually had made the determination on the lawsuit saying that the restriction of 10 round magazines and the way in which it was implemented here was unconstitutional, which led to California residents being able to purchase standard capacity magazines for what amounted to being a week. Originally, it was just like, it came out and it was like, oh, like, I guess you guys can order magazines now. And fucking people spent millions of dollars on, like, literally millions of dollars total on the importation of standard capacity magazines. And then, of course, the state government requested a stay. And of course it was granted. So it went away. But for that glorious week, you could order whatever mags you wanted, and it was awesome. But he's hearing a case having to do with the assault weapons ban in California and the way that it's implemented. Yeah. Here coming up on January 29th, so that should be very interesting. The ramifications of that being decided in much the same direction are sort of unclear at this point in terms of how that would play out, what would happen, for how long. But what it would do is set, again, a legal precedent. It may or may not end up going to the Supreme Court, depending on the outcome. But I think the biggest thing that it would do was, if it went positively, it would set a pretty strong legal precedent that should help other states, like, you know, now Virginia or New York, Mass, few other states that are facing some of the same gun control issues.
Yeah.
So that should be an interesting one, something I'll be keeping an eye on, because it is relevant to my interest.
Since you're a gun owner, well, you are too, Eddie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as of yet, still, but I do hope so someday.
Yeah, I mean it's if it wasn't something that was so important, why would so many people put so much effort into taking it away from me?
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's just at the very basic level. That's the only thing. That's the very like most basic argument I could make to somebody that doesn't understand, um, the culture and the way that things are going right now in terms of rights. And once the rights are gone, I mean, the magazine ban again, that was implemented, I want to say it was in the 90s, and
Look, mass shootings weren't.
it wasn't until
Oh no, go ahead.
it wasn't until last year that a solid case was made for it being overturned,
Yeah.
and it was. So I mean that's at the stroke of a pen, somebody can restrict your rights, but it takes a lot longer to restore them.
And nobody cares if mass shootings, because they've been going on for a long time. Nobody cared that it was going on in the ghettos.
No, that didn't matter.
Nobody cared. During all the gang killings, and we're not talking about adults killing adults. These are like teens killing teens.
Well, I mean, it's still going on.
Yeah, of course.
Did you guys hear the one in Mexico?
Yeah, 11-year-old, right?
Yeah, it was 11. When I was hearing it, I don't know if it was 11 or 8-year-old. They were going back and forth, so I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah,
But that's illegal.
Yeah, guns are illegal out there. How do you get one?
There's a will, there's a way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, people? But yeah, man. But switching up to some other news. How was your guys' New Year?
It was all right.
It was
I didn't
alright.
do anything
Yeah,
special. I just stayed at home.
Yeah.
I didn't either. Went to sleep at 10. Next day, woke up, went to church, and then went to the zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was up. I stayed up, but we had some friends over.
Mhm.
It's just our Jen did, or one of our friends, and just hung out. Had a couple beers.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. Something low key. It's different now.
Cool.
But that McKellar beer, I mean, that sour,
The double blush.
the double blush, it's I don't know what it is.
It's weird at first.
It's weird. It's weird throughout, but it's a good weird. Like I
Yeah.
enjoy it.
I like their
But is it a
blush.
sour kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one we had during the fights.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I found one. I found one at La Bodega, and I was like, oh, I gotta buy it. And then I bought that other one. It was like a vanilla chocolate porter.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, it was so good.
McKellar has some good beers. They're not a local distillery. They're actually from Europe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Jen actually even liked it. She was like, "Oh, this is good." I was like,
They have a couple of their distilleries in San Diego. There's like a few of them.
breweries.
Yeah, breweries. Oh, that's what I meant. Speaking of distillery, because I did go to a distillery recently, but yeah, they have a few other breweries in San Diego. We gotta take a San Diego trip, guys. There's a distillery out there called Cutwater, and I was expecting Cutwater to be, like kind of like a warehouse type place, where a small drinking area, but it's a full on like restaurant. It's really nice. The food's really good. God, the burger that I had was really good. And then afterwards, we took a tour of the distillery, and then you can have you get up to 4 tastings. But the dude we were talking to, we hit it off and stuff, and gave us more than 4, right? So we tried more than 4. But they make all of their spirits in house. It's all craft spirits. They do it all in house. They make canned cocktails.
We had one last time here.
Yeah, exactly that one. The whiskey.
Well, that's one of them. Yeah, that
Lemon
was like
tea.
the lemon tea.
Yeah, the one.
I think you had the other one you had was a mule.
Yeah, had a mule, and I also had their Bloody Mary in a can.
I'm not down with that.
I love Bloody Mary.
I'm not crazy about Bloody Mary.
Depends on the mix.
But they're really good. But everything that goes into the can, they make in house.
That's awesome.
Like the Bloody Mary mix, everything, the alcohol. They just started making tequila
Oh shit.
in Tequila, Mexico. So it's legit.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say.
Tequila.
I don't know if they started making it.
Because I asked him, I was like, well, is it made in Tequila, Mexico? Because you guys can't call it tequila unless it's made there. He's like, yeah. He's like, the owner knows this guy and his family has a tequila distillery out there. And so they talked it up and now they're making tequila exclusively for us. I tasted it, man. Smooth and tasty. Like this tequila, you don't shoot. You don't shoot it. You sip it.
Yeah.
It's that good.
I don't believe.
Their rum is good. Their bourbon is good. Their rye, their gin, their moonshine, everything was really good.
I don't believe.
Let's go.
Well, I don't believe you about the tequila. The other stuff I believe you.
Let's go.
Tequila's disgusting.
Let's go to the distillery, man.
Go right now.
Let's go check it out. Next time. I mean, I know we got the Whiskey Wonderland coming up, which I'm excited about, but we got to take a trip to the distillery. So this distillery, actually, fun fact, used to be owned by Ballast Point, the Ballast Point company. The guy who founded Ballast Point, he carved a section of the brewery out in San Diego to distill.
Mm-hmm.
And when they sold, which they sold Ballast Point for like $1 billion, by the way.
Yeah.
When they sold, the distillery part wasn't part of the deal, so they rebranded that Ballast Point spirits. They rebranded it to Cutwater.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Some of their labeling kind of reminded me of Ballast Point, like the old Ballast Point. The logos and stuff.
It's really good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I have nothing else to talk about.
I don't know. It'll happen the same way it does every time.
Yeah.
We'll remember after. But
We will remember afterwards.
No,
Yeah.
that's good.
Thank you guys for joining us
You guys
one
have
more
a good
time. We'll see when we'll be back. We always say next week, but things always come up. Life happens. I was sick last week.
Yeah.
I don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
I already got enough people trying to get me sick at the office.
I hit up the guys. I was like, "Hey, it's like I'm down to podcast, but I'm sick. Just heads up. Like I
I
don't
was
want to
like,
get you guys
no.
sick, and especially don't want to get their kids sick
Yeah.
because that would suck even more."
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't have them last week either.
Well,
But,
we'll shoot for next week.
We'll
hopefully.
see you when we
Cool.
see you.
All right.
How about
All
that?
right.
Peace.
Thanks.